We're doing this interview to see how gender affects the way people communicate in professional settings. We want to observe things like politeness, directness, interruptions, and body language to understand any differences or similarities between men and women. By comparing what we find to what we've learned in class, we can see if real life conversations match up with social linguistic theories. In the end, this will help us better understand how gender norms shape the way people speak and interact at work.
The questions we've asked to our interviewed COB students are: why did you choose business for the first question? And the second question is: what are the biggest challenges students face in your program? And the third and last question is: what advice would you give to future students about surviving and thriving in the College of Business?
Good morning, everyone. Today, I'm going to talk about the three key language behaviors that we observed in women during our interviews: hedging, tag questions, and turn taking with cooperative overlap. These behaviors play an important role in shaping how women communicate, and they help create a collaborative and polite conversational style. One of the most noticeable language behaviors was hedging. Hedging occurs when speakers soften their statements to sound less direct or absolute. Women in our interviews frequently use phrases like "I think for me" or "I feel like," and these phrases allow the speaker to express opinions while leaving room for others to disagree. For example, instead of saying "this is the best solution," women were more likely to say "I think this might be a good solution." This helps maintain politeness and encourages discussion rather than confrontation. Another common behavior we observed was the use of tag questions. These are short phrases added to the end of a statement to seek confirmation or agreement. Women often use tag questions to make their statements sound less forceful and to invite others into the conversation. Instead of issuing direct commands or opinions, they use tag questions to soften their speech and encourage collaboration. The third language behavior we noticed was turn taking and cooperative overlap. In conversations, women showed a pattern of taking turns smoothly and supporting each other's speech by overlapping not to interrupt but to show engagement. Unlike competitive interruptions, which are meant to take control of a conversation, cooperative overlaps help build rapport and keep the discussion flowing naturally. We What are the biggest challenges students face in your program?
I think for me it's time consuming.
Second question, what are the biggest challenges students face in your program?
For me, I feel like knowing different perspectives and different ways of how business.
Okay. Okay. I cannot say business in particular, to be honest. Let's talk na lang, like, why I chose my course na lang.
Okay.
Okay.
Which is finance.
Kasi mahirap kasi pag business ang dami ko kasi um,
It's very broad.
broad. So,
So, in our interview, we were able to see that the male students tended to be more assertive and blunt in their responses, declaring their opinion as a fact without most hesitation. The female students tended to soften their voice, their assertion by proceeding with statements such as "I feel like" or "I think" in order to sound less assertive and more discussable. We were also able to see that women used more polite language, such as proceeding with "please" and "thank you" more often, while the men tended to be more blunt. These differences reflect the ways in which men and women naturally speak differently. Women tend to strive to be more inclusive and considerate, while men tend to be more blunt.
When a College of Business student is interviewed, the language used both supports and contradicts conventional gendered language behaviors. Professionalism and confidence, which are commonly linked to masculine speaking patterns like directness and aggressiveness, are frequently emphasized in business communication. But the student might take on a more relational and cooperative tone when talking about client interactions or teamwork, which is characteristic of feminine communication. Male students typically respond more declaratively, while female students occasionally employ hedging words like I think. However, these trends are not always present. Due to the professional nature of business education, both men and women are encouraged to speak in a way that combines directness and flexibility. The expectations of academia and the workplace ultimately shape in a balanced communication style, even though gender affects the language use.
Societal gender norms influence language use in professional settings by shaping expectations around communication styles. Women are often expected to be more polite, indirect, and collaborative language, while men are encouraged to be more assertive and direct. These norms can impact perceptions of authority, with assertive women sometimes being seen as aggressive and overly polite men as weak. As a result, workplace dynamics and leadership opportunities may be influenced by these gendered communication expectations.